Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Fatma Jarman. I'm an Emirati writer and essayist living between New York and the UAE. I'm the founding editor-in-chief of Anutha, a magazine that centers the creative work of Arab women. I'm an undergraduate student at Columbia University studying English literature, and I'm honored to be your host for this episode of SEF Backstage Pass. First, we have to introduce our incredible guest, Rashed Al Mulla. Welcome to the podcast and welcome to SEF.
Thank you, Fatma. I'm inspired by you right now.
MashaAllah,
you're studying at Columbia, living between New York and Dubai. That's amazing. I actually just passed by. I was just in New York celebrating Christmas and New Year's. I passed by the campus. It's really beautiful and inspiring.
Thank you so much. It is a beautiful place.
And how's studying?
Alhamdulillah. I'm actually on break right now.
Oh, okay.
Hey, عشان شي أنا موجودة. Otherwise, I would be there, but thank God I'm here because I get to talk to you. So I'm so excited to meet you.
Me too. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
So you're the founder and CEO of Frio Sparkling Water. It's the first artisan sparkling water brand in the Middle East and North Africa.
Yes.
But you're also the CEO and founder of another company.
Yes.
Healthagon.
Yes.
Healthagon is a tech and healthcare provider offering services like physiotherapy and sports therapy.
Correct.
We're going to talk about Frio today, but I had to mention that because it's incredible that you're running not just one but two companies. So where did that entrepreneurial spirit come from?
See, it all came from the passion, and I don't know if it's in the blood, it's in our family blood or not, but it's all of them. Whatever I've started, they were most of them personal problems that transferred to be a passion and love and even let's say for example the passion, not just the passion, the love for competition. I used to be even a competitive athlete. I was 2 times CrossFit champion in the UAE.
Wow.
So this competitive even I took this competitive spirit and even replicate it here in the business world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how does one go from being an athlete to now being the owner of 2 companies?
So as an athlete, I used to struggle, or not just to struggle, I was looking for healthy option out there in the market. And I used to have a lot Coke Zero. And I was looking at Coke Zero and I was like saying, what? It's sweet, but it tells you it's a 0 calorie. How come? It's like what is behind it? Okay, there is sweeteners. Are really sweeteners good for you or not?
Yeah.
So you keep on looking at these things, and then curiosity kept on evolving. And I said, like, okay, I really need to know what's inside it. And I read a book. It's called Salt, Sugar, and Fats. And they really highlighted on the story of Coke Zero and Coca-Cola and the ingredients and the sourcing and part of their journey. Like when they started, they even had cocaine in their Coca-Cola. I mean, at that time, that was probably around 100 years ago, or maybe 90 years ago, when the industry was still not heavily regulated and people could do whatever they wanted. Whatever they wanted, but they could have added whatever they wanted.
They could have cocaine in their drink, yeah.
They could have cocaine. It wasn't like let's say, for example, forbidden substance, or like, for example, they didn't know it. I mean, it's extracted from the cacao.
Yeah.
So the curiosity kept on going. So like, okay, I want to develop something that is healthy and that's delicious, etc. And I booked a ticket and I went to California. And that's where I even did my master's. And I met a lot of laboratories, chemists, and I kept on seeing what's happening in the market over there. Because US is the leading nation in innovation. I mean, we are working towards it. Our nation is working towards it. Other nations are working towards it. But the US has the platform, has the regulation, has the lifestyle, let's say, for example, it's not just, the US is, if you come and work, there is no limits. There is no limits to where you can get.
Yeah.
And that's what I really loved about it. There is no limit to where a person can get. You can be, let's say, for example, somewhere, and the next day you're let's say, for example, running Coca-Cola or running Apple.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of people, and I met a lot of chemists, laboratories. I've seen what's happening. I went to the grocery stores. I look at what they're selling, what's coming up. And I've seen the brands, and I've seen, let's say, for example, there is a retailer in the US called Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Probably you know it.
Yeah.
And they were really, really leading. and let's say, for example, sourcing organic products, having the good stuff, none of the bad stuff products on their shelves. And that's where like I kept on looking, okay, this is sparkling water, this is that, this is where it's happening. And then I went back home. I was still not convinced on what I want to do. I was planning on, let's say, for example, a amino acid infused with, let's say, for example, a recovery beverage.
Okay.
But when we looked at the figures and what makes sense in terms of figures, in terms of growth, in terms of etc., and who can really benefit from it, and how many people we can touch and inspire and fix and help. Carbonated water, sparkling water, really made sense. And let's say, for example, helping people with hydrating and giving them the option instead of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and other brands that are really, they still use a lot of sugar, a lot of sweeteners to maintain, let's say, for example, their product taste.
Yeah.
Because they do have a taste, and the consumer got used to that taste, which they are really scared of in terms of sales. I mean, if they do a small percentage in terms of sales, it could affect their entire sales. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, a small percentage change in the taste, it could affect their sales. So they are really cautious about it. And when they introduce different products under different brands.
That's true.
That's what they are doing to maintain. Let's say, for example, Pepsi, and seeing, okay, what's happening? Okay, that's going to be our flagship, but let's see how these products play. Fortunately, I mean, we chose this segment. Okay, we'll start with this segment, and we can enter other segments, because in this segment, the mass consumes sparkling water.
Exactly.
And it is the new, let's say, for example, alternative to other beverages.
Yeah.
And that's where Frio Sparkling Water was born. And the name of Frio, I mean, many people ask me why Frio, you chose Frio. I mean, I love the Spanish language, and Frio means cold in Spanish.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I was working even in Seattle. And in Seattle, it's really cold. I mean, it's as cold as New York.
Yeah.
Probably New York is a little bit colder. So it was so cold, and one of my Spanish friends said, like, mucho frío. And I was like, okay, that's where I, like, you know, when there is a word that gets stuck in your head.
Such a good slogan, honestly.
Mucho frío. It's like, mucho frío. It's like, it's super cold. And it is a cold and refreshing beverage, and that's why we chose it. And we chose Frio not just because it's like, okay, Spanish and it's cold. It perfectly fits into the beverage category. We chose it because if you look at the Spanish people, they're really friendly. Yeah. They don't have issues, international issues. They don't have any problems, and they're really friendly. And I lived even in the Dominican Republic. I even worked in Dominican. I worked in the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
I have. I mean, I can't.
You've lived 100 lives.
I cannot give you everything. Like, I cannot tell you. But I mean, I even don't remember. Like, sometimes you ask me about, okay, I did this. I did this.
Good for you.
And I went into many industries, and real estate. I mean, I'm right now in healthcare.
Yeah.
I even was in blockchain and investment. So I started the company, but you know, that's part of the entrepreneurship. You start a couple of companies, and then some of them don't even start.
Yeah.
And I had a company called Mustaqbal Fund.
Yeah.
It was bringing fractional ownership to real estate investment. So imagine the problem that we were solving is we're helping people with their financial independence. Actually, we can revisit this. I mean, but not now. I'm very busy with Frio and other. I'm overwhelmed with growing these brands. So the core passion behind Mustaqbal Fund was bringing that fractional ownership and making real estate accessible to people. Yeah. So, I mean, real estate really, one of the biggest problems in real estate today, it's the high capital requirement. So if you want to invest in anything, it's like 200,000, at least 200,000 to buy a studio. Or let's say, for example, 1 million or 2 million or 3 million to buy a townhouse or a villa. So imagine you can get the same returns for the amount or the budget that you have. And you can even reinvest, that's where the mass falls on, the middle class, who have, let's say, for example, an average salary 15 to, let's say, for example, 30 or 40. That's where they kind of fall in terms of category. And that idea, I mean, kept it on the side. Going back to the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Going
please,
back to
let's go back.
What I loved about the Dominican Republic is, I mean, I can talk about it. What I loved about the Dominican Republic is people over there live for the weekend.
Ugh, okay.
Oh my God, it's like they work hard during the week.
Work hard,
and
play hard.
They do enjoy the weekend to the fullest.
Beautiful.
They work. I mean, they have a beautiful. I mean, they are living a really. I mean, look at Dominican Republic. It's really beautiful.
I must go.
The tropical.
I must go.
The white sand and I mean the salsa by the beach dancing and they do really have a beautiful. They do really have a beautiful culture. I mean, if you look at it, Spain. I mean, based on the latest, reports. The Spanish people are the happiest, I believe, or one of the happiest people in the world. I mean, if not the first, probably among the top 3. I mean, every agency publishes a different report, and you'll see different. You take the average.
Yeah. So that was kind of the, hearing all of that. It sounds like that's part of the inspiration of Frio, and maybe what you're trying to kind of manifest or bring into, with every single bottle that you're selling, you're trying to spread that culture of joy as well.
Absolutely.
I love that so much. I think something else that also struck with me, just kind of reading the branding, I'm a language person, I'm a writer, so I was really focusing on how the product was being described, and it evoked such beautiful imagery of like childhood and summertime, so I could kind of see that right away, but also of community. And that's kind of something that stuck out for me when I compare Frio to maybe other sparkling water brands, is that idea of being community driven or community sourced. How do you nurture that? How do you build that kind of community?
I looked at other brands, and what I see is their faces. I mean, if you look at their social media and their marketing that they're publishing, you would see that they highlight their cans. I mean, in my categories of competitors, like San Pellegrino, Perrier, they are my competition. I won't highlight on Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They are doing it right in terms of marketing. But San Pellegrino and Perrier, when you look at them, how they are presenting, let's say for example, their product is, here's the can, it looks nice, it comes from France, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with their let's say for example their brand. What we are about is, we are community centric. We are here. I mean, wherever we establish ourselves, we are working with the community. We are contributing to the community. We are developing whatever we have in terms of product and in terms of product, that the product that fits that community, or let's say fits that area. So since the beginning, we wanted to highlight not just that it's a brand that has faces and it's selling a lifestyle. No, it's a brand that is working with the local people and telling their stories, whether they are in sports, whether they are in education. We've even worked with American University in Sharjah, and they approached us and told us, how can we, let's say for example, work with Frio? I told them, like, absolutely, you can help us. And we gave them the hardest case study. Our launch in Waitrose and Spinnies was done by a local university. They formulated the plan, and we did work with them in terms of iterating, etc.
That's incredible.
That's what we are about. Okay, we can work together. Yes, you are not perfect. We will work together on making it perfect. And this really makes, I mean, at the end is seeing people or seeing the community evolving. Absolutely the opposite of the other brands. Just traders selling their beverage, and at the end of the day, you're seeing that the money is getting out of the economy and not staying and circulating in the economy. And that's what really drives me a lot, even way more, is that we are working here, we're contributing, and we can develop the best brands. We are not missing out on anything.
Absolutely.
We do have the talent. We do have the capacity, and we do have the capability.
Absolutely.
We just need one thing, is our leadership support, and we can conquer whatever is ahead of us.
I absolutely agree. Speaking of support here in the UAE, can you tell us more about your involvement with Make It in the Emirates? If you could talk more about that.
So, I mean, Make It in the Emirates is a trademark, or let's say, for example, a logo. I'll be very, very honest.
Okay.
In terms of support, what we got is nothing. We just
Really?
we didn't get any push from them. We didn't get, the only entity that worked with us and helped us is Dubai SME, and really a shout out to the CEO of Dubai SME, Abdul Basit Al Janahi. He's really one of our supporters. He helped us. He even helped us with getting into Gulf food. Not just because we are a local brand, but I mean, he's very passionate about the beverages, or let's say, for example, he's very passionate about the local companies in the UAE. So yes, in terms of support we've gotten from, let's say, for example, Dubai SME, we let's say in having a discounted rate in events, etc. There is a support, but make it in the Emirates is just a logo that we placed. I think it's just for people who will look at it. It's like, hey, it's made in the Emirates, so it will make them, number one, proud, and number two is it's a branding.
Yeah. I mean, there is an incentive, you know, when you see that something is, you know, made here, absolutely. But how did that go about? How did sourcing the water go about? What was that process like?
So what we do is like what most of the suppliers of water in the UAE does. We source the water from DEWA directly. We work with DEWA on that, and we do a process called reverse osmosis. So what reverse osmosis does is strips everything out of the water. So you do have only water. So what we do after that is we have our own mineral content that we dose in our water, which is let's say, for example, calcium, magnesium, potassium. So all the essential minerals that people will need, and will even give them that will elevate even their hydration. Let's say, for example, hydration needs. I mean, and we even took it as a step ahead, where we looked at, okay, how much people consume in a day. What is the mineral content that's needed for a person in a day? Let's say, for example, okay, they need, let's say, for example, 500 milligram of that's a lot, but I mean, I'm just throwing out an example. I'm just throwing an example. Let's say, for example, at least 500 milligram of vitamin C, or let's say, for example, you got the idea.
Yeah.
So we looked at the mineral content and what is the required, and then we formulated our own, let's say, for example, mineral content based on what others have.
Okay.
So we looked at them. Okay, how can we still be the most delicious, but even because when you add more minerals, the taste gets even different.
Yeah, that's true.
It gets even different. So we try to maintain the taste of the water because it's in a can, which is the most sustainable way to have a sparkling water in, or even like consuming a beverage. And let's say, for example, still complements the taste from a can, because every packaging method has its unique tasting experience. I mean, nothing beats glass, but even glass is recyclable. Yes, glass is good, but glass consume way more energy than cans. Cans is easiest method to recycle. So that's why we chose even cans. I mean, is there a plan for us to get into the glass category? Yes, there is. Because if you look at, let's say, for example, the high-end restaurants, hotels, they do require glass, and they want, like, you know, the fancy, beautiful glass. I mean, this is something that we're considering, inshallah, in the future.
Inshallah. That's amazing. It sounds like you quite literally to the milligram you have everything figured out. Mashallah, that's amazing. We have to talk about the flavors. You have 5 flavors currently on the market, if I'm not wrong. You have the classic standard, you have strawberry right here, you have coconut, grapefruit, and lemon. I know alhamdulillah, I've tried the standard, but when I got the email for the interview, I was like, okay, now I have to go try the rest. I sat with my family. Literally, we did a taste test كنا ويا بعض, and we were trying to figure out like شو أحلى طعم. Yeah. And we all kind
What was the winner?
Honestly, it was coconut. We loved coconut. I wanted to ask you maybe about kind of the process, the imaginative, creative process behind the flavoring. And then, of course, I have to know what your favorite is.
My favorite is, I love strawberry. So you're having strawberry. I love strawberry. And I mean, I have to pick a favorite. I love strawberry, but I would say lemon, coconut, and strawberry. I mean, they have to be good. Else
they're all good.
I mean, I won't sell something that I don't like. I have to like it, else I won't be able to sell it. So yes, so my 3 top flavors are coconut and strawberry and lemon. In terms of picking, you mean your question was picking the flavors?
Yes.
Yeah. We went through a rigorous process when it came to picking up our flavors, or picking up, let's say, for example, the fruits that we want. And what we wanted to do is not bring to the market flavors that the consumer are not familiar with a lot. But being creative is still with the coconut, but still stick to the couple of traditional, because if you look at it, even the big brands, they did a lot of, let's say, for example, limited runs. They did a lot of, let's say, for example, new flavors that kept coming and going. But the flavors that kept on, that stayed on the shelves for a long time was the citrusy one, the lemon, the lemon, let's say, for example, the lemon, or let's say, for example, the grapefruit. These are like the most consumed in terms of, let's say, for example, in beverage.
And it's what people recognize. So once they see a locally sourced alternative, that kind of already, there's already a desire or relationship with that flavor. So I love that a lot. Mashallah, you've covered a lot of my questions as we were talking. I'm like taking a second.
That's fine. I mean, in terms of even flavoring, we are not stopping here. What we are planning, we're not stopping here. We are planning to induce. We keep on. See, that's what our strategy is, and that's what even our unique selling point that we're planning to maintain and continuing on developing. Is we will keep on developing the best recipes that no one can keep up with us. We are planning to launch new flavors that are going to be, inshallah, for Ramadan. We're planning to even launch flavors that are going to be in summer. We are planning even to do seasonals.
I love that.
We're planning to even do the seasonals. So we're not stopping here. We will continue. We'll continue to innovate. We'll continue to bring the best ingredients, the best products to the people. So yes, we are launching a flavor. I don't want to announce it here, so
you don't want to announce it here.
But I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to announce.
No, I'm joking.
We're planning. That's fine. We're planning to launch pineapple flavor soon.
Oh my gosh!
And this is what's going to complement. I believe many people, especially in Ramadan, they look like if. You tried the pineapple tang.
I have.
Tang. Tang is one of the most popular beverages that.
I was thinking, are they planning Vimto flavored? I was waiting to hear what. Yeah.
So pineapple is one of the flavors that we're working on because it's your perfect hydration, and we are really a replacement to even for Tang. I'm sorry, Tang, but we're coming for you. Yes, we're coming for you. We are the best alternative.
Watch out.
We are the best alternative. People want the fizziness. They do want the flavor, and they do want, let's say, for example, the aspect that especially in Ramadan, many people take it as an opportunity to this Ramadan I will cut on sugar and I'll start really healthy habits and I'll exercise before iftar and maybe after iftar I'll go play volleyball, etc. So many people have this goals during Ramadan. So our job is to help them in containing their calorie count. Maybe I'll eat that haris or that biryani, but I'll still not get more calories in terms of what I'm consuming in beverage. You notice this. How many people go to McDonald's or go to, let's say, for example, Salt or go to Shake Shack or any of these, let's say, for example, fast food chains.
Yeah.
They would order burgers, fries, pizza, whatever. And then when it comes to the beverage, they would ask, do you have Coke Zero?
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
Okay, you did have all the calories.
You're calling me out to shwaya, but you're right.
Yeah, you would have all the calories over here, no compensation. You won't ask for please a low-fat cheese. That would affect your taste. And it's true. You don't want to maximize your calories from a beverage.
Yeah.
It's still beverage. It's not like food, like something that has, let's say, for example, fibers, all the nutrients, proteins, etc. At the end, it's and if you look at it, beverages, especially like, for example, the normal Pepsi or normal Coca-Cola are really high in calories, and it's just a beverage, something that is hidden. You're just drinking and you're thinking, I'm just hydrating.
Yeah.
What is sugar? How much sugar in it? You don't know. But then when you calculate it, oh my God, that's a lot of sugar in this can.
Outside of calorie count, there's also health impacts that are related to maybe consuming some of those products. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's amazing that this is, not only healthy for you, but you're quite literally giving your body what it needs. It needs some water.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I love that so much.
And another part is our sustainability part to this product. is that we are 100% recyclable, and whatever we use is recyclable. So we're not using stuff that are non-recyclable. So whatever we use is recyclable, and we are planning to launch this. We do have a subscription model where our customers do buy our cans in a subscription in a subscription way, where we deliver our sparkling water on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
And what we're planning to do is we will collect the cans back and we will recycle them for you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So this is part of our plan.
That's amazing.
I mean, this is part of our future. So we will deliver it to you, and we will take it from you if you want to.
That's amazing.
I mean, if you don't want to take the hassle, absolutely fine. We will recycle it for you. So if you're really environmentally conscious, we will recycle the handles, we will recycle the carton, and we will recycle the cans. So everything that you're doing,
wow, that's incredible.
And our approach, even in terms of when scaling, we don't work with, we will not work, or we don't even work with partners who are not sustainably or sustainable, let's say, for example, have sustainability goals or plans in their future.
Wow.
We look at, let's say, for example, in terms of co-packers, how are they, let's say, for example, operating their manufacturing facilities? Are there energy, like how do they consume energy? Are they using, let's say, for example, renewable energy part of their, let's say, for example, running their manufacturing units or not? Are they using solars? Are they using that? So it's really, we established ourselves this way. Oppose, let's say, for example, Pepsi and other brands where they are just take it out of the grid, consume as much as you can. No, we're taking it really, profits is not first, it's community first, it's best product first, it's people, it's memories, it's something that we want people to be proud of when they, let's say, for example, consume.
That's amazing. I think it's so important to represent the values that you want to spread, within every single aspect of the process. So I'm full of admiration right now, honestly. And it makes me want to support Frio even more.
Thank you very
honestly.
much. I mean, it's an honor.
Yeah.
And we do need the support from everyone.
Yeah.
And the game is, the competition is not easy. We are up for we're not competing with your regular brands. We're competing with international brands.
Yeah.
And people standing behind us is really, today the people came after the talk, people came to us and they did show support. Oh, you guys are made in the UAE. We didn't know. It's like, that's amazing. That's good. Try our products. Don't support us because we are a local brand. We don't want that kind of support. Support us because we are the best. That's what we want to be. We want to be the best. We don't want support. We don't want sympathy. We're not looking for sympathy. We're looking for a support because we are the best.
Yeah.
And we will continue on improving ourselves. That's what we are. That's our culture in terms of work. We have a people who are really, our people are really motivated. They're really inspired by what they are doing. They know the challenge that's upcoming, and they're up for it. And that's the best thing. And even on my other healthcare company, they are so passionate in helping people restore their range of motion. They are so passionate about people walking in. If they are suffering from a pain, they would walk out in a better condition. Yeah. So it's very important to nurture that and protect that and even support that. And that's my job as the leader or even as a coworker. Yeah. My job is to fuel that, help that, support that, and even evolve that, and empower them as much as possible.
That's amazing. Mashallah, your work is empowering people outside of your company too, myself included. So thank you so, so much for that.
You're welcome.
I have to ask, just for listeners, where they can find Frio.
They can find Frio at Spinneys, across many Spinneys stores. They can find Frio at Waitrose. They can find Frio on Noon minutes, so you can order Frio from Noon and get it delivered in 15 minutes. So now if you're now thirsty and you want to try Frio Sparkling Water and you want to try our best seller, which is coconut, you can just go to Noon minutes and order Noon, and it'll be delivered in 15 minutes. And that's our partnership with Noon. We are even on Amazon. We even sell on our website. We do sell in Dubai airports and Abu Dhabi airports. We do have even a partnership with OTG On The Go. It's a subsidiary of Masafi. They do run so many vending machines around the UAE. So they have around, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 vending machine. I don't remember the exact figure. And we are in those vending machines, which are even in the airports and in different universities and schools.
That's incredible. MashaAllah, a very accessible product, but inshallah it'll expand even further.
And we are planning this year, inshallah, to even expand in the gas stations where people they're thirsty and they just want to grab something quickly. So we are planning to go in the gas station and probably even extend our retail footprint.
That's amazing. Inshallah. So I have to ask, even though you've revealed a lot with us so far, what's next for Frio?
We are planning this year to enter more than one market in the GCC. So the local market is increasing our footprint in the retail presence. And in terms of, let's say, for example, GCC, we're planning to enter 2 more markets. We are currently in talks with different distributors and even bottlers on how we can, let's say, for example, sort this partnership and how we can launch and what is the best way to approach. Because when we expand, it's not just about the expanding. Our goal is not be just like Perrier or San Pellegrino, where they just import brands and that's it. There is no. When we go in as a partners. We go in as a brand that's going to contribute to the community, that's going to have a great impact, not just, let's say, for example, in terms of the beverage that they are going to enjoy, but even, let's say, for example, in terms of contribution that we're doing into the community and how we are helping, and how we are helping even the local economy with us in developing new products that will even help the local economy at that place.
That's incredible. I absolutely admire your community conscious approach with everything that you're doing. Listeners and I personally are learning so much just hearing from you speak, but do you have any lessons or pieces of advice that you want to give new entrepreneurs potentially?
Absolutely. I mean, if you have a product or you have a service, you need to understand who's your product is serving. Like who's your customers? Let's say, for example, who will enjoy your product? And then you need to think of what problem you're solving for them. Like how would you be really great? Or let's say, for example, what is it? What is unique about it? Is it the taste? Is it the flavor? Is it the ingredients? What is it really great about your flavor? And then after that, you need to figure out, okay, who would be the best fit for me? And then that's what we did. We started testing with different people, different segments, different let's say, for example, demographics, expats, locals, young, old. So we kept on trying and we categorized them in different ages.
Wow.
And we did a lot of sampling. We did a lot of dinners.
Really?
And we made
and
we did it indirectly. So the participants came in and they didn't know that they are going to try a sparkling water. They came in to enjoy, and they would give us really their honest feedback. So it was really informal way. So it wasn't like, paper, write down, was it too citrusy? Was it? No, it was informal. And we made sure that people, because the experience of a beverage, when you try a beverage, the experience of the first sip, or let's say, for example, drinking it halfway is completely different than finishing the beverage. So sometimes people, when they drink the entire beverage, they get, let's say, for example, by the end of the can, they would, let's say, for example, have they would feel like it's a little bit bittery, or it's a little bit too much. So we made sure that the entire experience of them having the beverage is as expected, or as, let's say, for example, we want it and the consumer wants it. So you need to figure out what's your product and who's going to own it, who's going to like it. After that, it's really about how can you enter? How would you position yourself to enter? We chose ourselves. I mean, what we chose for ourselves is we want to focus on the best product and we want to do the best marketing, and that's it. That's our vision. We will produce. We will build the best products and we will do the best marketing out there. There's so many co-packers. There's so many manufacturing facilities. We don't need to build expertise in this, but however, we still built our own manufacturing facility where we do our R&D by ourselves. Let's try this. Let's do this. I'd be sitting on like, this is really great. How about we create a a peach flavor today with, let's say, for example, with pineapple and this one. Then I'll be like going on trying, let's say, for example.
That's amazing.
And then we mix, and then we try, oh my God, this is so delicious. And then, okay, leave it. Write down the recipe. Don't forget it. Yeah, don't forget it. We will revisit it. I mean, this is what we like. I mean, creating the best. And then we need to do a lot of testing. I was fortunate. Because of my athletic career, where I won a couple of titles. I had my own savings. Yeah. And not many people would have their own saving, and I'm still the sole owner of this company. I didn't acquire money from anyone. Multiple reasons. One, because they were in the beginning when I first started. I did try, but I've seen that people didn't really believe in the brand, and they didn't see that what is Frio's really after, what's Frio's doing. So the not just the valuation, but the value was really low. So I said, it's fine, I will invest myself. But for many people, they would need to think strategically on who they want to partner up with, and what is this investor going to do. I mean, you'd see a lot of people today opening a coffee shops, or even opening a clinic, whatever it is. And then you'd see, you'd see two partners, and one who would say, I would work, and the other one, I will invest. And probably both of them would invest. And they're like, it's 50-50. And then what happens is, the working partner is saying, I'm working really hard, and and in the end, I'm getting paid exactly like you. I'm putting a lot of sweat in it. And this is what a lot of entrepreneurs don't put into consideration. We're like, okay, you need to understand, if you are the working partner, how would you compensate yourself differently? Because in the end, after 1 year, you would look at it and you say, like, it's not worth it. Like, he's sleeping at home and he's getting this, or probably he's coming, he's meeting me once a week, or not even once a week, maybe once a month. And we, let's say, for example, discuss our financials. So they need to understand each investor, each, let's say, for example, partner, what is his role in the company? Okay, you're an investor. Okay, you're just an investor. That's fine. That's agreed. I'll be working. Okay, that's how I'll be working. And that's what happens. But the working partner doesn't realize the effort and time that is needed. So this is one of the biggest mistakes, and why you see a lot of partnerships dissolve after 1 year or 2 years. So money is important, and partners are really important. And then after that, it's strategically thinking about where do you position yourself, where do you want to go, what is your how would you enter the market, what is your marketing plan. So it starts there, and then you'll start figuring out things. But the important is, like, what are you unique about, what is your best service, who are on board with you. And it's really important. I mean, I would definitely, I wasn't fortunate to find partners who are, let's say, for example, capable, who are, let's say, for example, as passionate, who are, let's say, for example, who are going to sweat like me on the ground. There were many people with just cash. That's why I rejected a lot. So it's great to have partners in. They can continue, and you can, let's say, for example, sometimes take this step back and look at the business and from an, let's say, for example, overall perspective. So these are the basics, these are the essentials, and then you'll do a lot of mistakes. Pain is my best friend. Yeah, pain is my best friend. There's so much pain. There's so much failures. There's so much mistakes. But there are moments, and there will be time where you will need to be your own cheerleader, where you need to be, let's get up and get back to work. No matter what. And that's what even distinguish the people who can make it and people who can't make it. Everyone over here, there's so many people with a lot of skills, with a lot of, let's say, for example, talent. But when they get their will tested, or let's say, for example, their patience, or how much pressure they can handle, the talent and everything breaks down, and then they go back to what they used to do. Yeah. So, and that's why you have the 1% in the world. Those are the people who persevered. They are the people who stayed consistent. These are the people who really fought and did a lot of mistakes and went bankrupt and then went back again. Yeah. So that's why you do have the 1%. And that's what it takes. So you need to know what you're signing up for. Yeah. There's a lot of challenges. So yes. So, and you take obstacle as then it's about perspective. how you see challenges. And if you see challenges, oh my God, why it's happening only to me?
Yeah.
And that's really wrong. You shouldn't be thinking of it that way. You should be thinking of it, oh wow, I'm so blessed. I'm having this issue right now. I can figure it out and I can learn from it. And you take it as a blessing. And this is what really like helped me a lot, me as an entrepreneur. Okay, when we have this problem or that problem, or our machine break down and we can't work. Everything is on hold. It's like, oh my God, how are we going to continue? But that's good. We're still small. And that's amazing news. Let's figure it out. Go back and yes, it affected our sales, it affected everything, but it's okay. You let's say, for example, find alternatives. You start putting in better processes and better, let's say, for example, countermeasure. You'll find better, let's say, for example, you'll find better, suppliers who would help you, let's say, for example, avoid going into, or even if you got into, let's say, for example, a problem, they would help you, let's say, for example, get back. And you need to know that you can't do everything. And that's one of my personal problems. I wanted to do everything, and I had to let go a lot. I mean, I think you are relating a lot. I think you're relating a lot.
Yeah, I think you could tell.
I think you can relate a lot.
Yeah.
I came from big corporate. I did work at DP World for a year and almost 2 years, where I've seen, let's say, for example, the companies are all working with consultants. Most of the work was done with consultants or agencies, etc. I was really demotivated about it. Like, we can do it. Why giving them? It's actually the right way. It's finding the best and let them do it, whether it's employees or even, let's say, for example, companies. So you'll have to delegate as much as possible and give away as much as possible and free yourself, because in the end, why you started the company, yes, you started it because you're passionate, yes, you started it because you love it, but in the end you need to have time also for yourself. Then your job is really be the observer of the company. Like you'll be trying the product, you'll be walking in the groceries. That's what I'm doing right now. Sometimes at least once every 2 weeks, especially the beginning of this year is really crazy. We've been really busy, but I try to do at least once a week where I go to the grocery store and I look at Frio Sparkling Water and I look at my competition and I would just stand there.
Oh God, yeah.
I would just stand there and look at the shelves and I look at people and how they're buying and what they're buying. And I would go to them and I would ask them, excuse me, sir, why did you choose that one and you didn't choose, let's say, for example, San Pellegrino? I won't even mention Frio.
Okay.
I won't even mention Frio. It's like I'm the second customer. I'm trying to figure it out. And then you would hear a really interesting feedback. It's like, oh yes, I love San Pellegrino. I tried it, but it's really expensive. And this one is affordable. So I'm going to try this one and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of insight on how the consumer is thinking.
Yeah.
Even though it's not 1,000 people that you meet, but at least you try to see how's it going, how's the people are shopping, what are they putting in their carts. So these are really things that distinguish, let's say, for example, a guy who is on the ground and the guy who's sitting in offices and just waiting for consultants to come back to him and tell him what will work and what will not work. So it's very important to be on the ground. And that's what I learned really from Lean or Six Sigma. Lean process is one of the greatest skills that a person can learn. It really looks at, let's say, for example, a problem. I have this problem, and my problem is I'm not producing consistently. Let's say, for example, I'm supposed to produce 100 cans in a minute, but I'm producing 50. I'm just throwing an example. What Lean process is about, or let's say, for example, Six Sigma or Kaizen, they would look at the entire process of, let's say, for example, your manufacturing. Okay, and it could be replicated in tech, could be replicating in writing, could be replicated in many other stuff. So you'd look at it and you would see, okay, let me map the entire process. What is the current process? And then what I would do is I would take a stopwatch.
Okay,
and I would say, okay, let's start the operation. And then I would look at, okay, what is the variance between each can and between each, let's say, for example, between each can. And then you would start understanding, okay, you'll plot it on your whiteboard. Okay, I produce, let's say for example, a sample test of 50 cans, and you place these 50 cans and you place the time. Okay, can number 1 took me 10 seconds, can number 2 took me 9 seconds, and then can number 3 took me maybe 30 seconds. And then you would look at, okay, where is the average and where is the outliers? When you look at the outliers, you'd like, okay, let me highlight this. What happened here? Did I, let's say for example, did I record what happened here? Why did this delay happen? And then you know the why this happened. And then you'd go back and seeing, okay, oh, this delay happened is because there was a delay in the let's say for example, in the placing, let's say for example, the empty cans in my process. Okay, there was a delay. Why this delay happened? The let's say for example, the production assistant went for a rest, or let's say for example, okay, this is what happened. Okay, then this is what happened. Okay, what can we do to, let's say for example, minimize this? Maybe let's say for example, have let's say for example, before production, try to do this, or if you want to take a break, let someone handle it. So you got what I mean. So it's like, how can you stay consistent? And then you'd look at it you'd look at other variances in your, let's say for example, streamlined process. What's happening over there? And this is what really gets me excited. It's like problem solving. Where is the problem? Where is the problem? And this is like, I love whiteboards, and wherever I work, you'd see like whiteboards, and even in my room you'd see a whiteboard, and I just like flush whatever in my head. So it's really great. So this is one of the greatest skills you can have, beside having, let's say for example, the people skills, or let's say for example, having the soft skills like speaking, having the sympathy, having, let's say for example, the emotional intelligence, in other words. Yeah,
that's amazing. I mean, everything that you're saying right now, I want to keep it in a notebook somewhere to come back to, because I really think you're such a great example of somebody who's leading with empathy and understanding and genuine care for the work that you're doing, and I think that's so inspiring. So thank you so much for such an amazing conversation.
Thank you very much.
As I exit it, I'm the word that's sticking out to me is resilience. I mean, being so resilient throughout the process, and inshallah, listeners will feel empowered to be resilient. Yes. I feel empowered to be resilient. So thank you so much, Rashed.
I'm glad, and I hope people can benefit from it and learn from the mistakes that we went through. It's not just, it's really an obligation from me. It's not just to help entrepreneurs, but to help the economy. And it really matters to me that our economy is doing great. It's because at the end, it's going to circulate back. It's the economy. It's, if you are successful, you'd be helping, let's say for example, you'll be contributing to the economy, and that's what matters. You'll be, let's say for example, indirectly buying from a friend, and that friend is buying from there, and it's
you're inspiring someone else to start something new. It keeps going.
And then if you want to minimize failures as much as possible, because when you have a failed business, you have a money that just evaporated from the economy and just gone, let's say for example, wasted, or inventory wasted, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So it might end up in the landfill, or it might end up somewhere. And maybe in terms of technology, there's so many people started a lot of softwares, a lot of, let's say for example, apps, but they never launched. And that money is just gone. So he invested probably maybe 100,000, 200,000, and that money is gone. In terms of economic value that he had, he didn't get any return. So it's like, if you look at his purchasing power, or his whatever he had in the bank account, he's less.
And the way to counter that, what would you say would it be resilience, or would it be something else?
I mean, it's learning from others' mistakes. Absolutely, that's number one, and trying to let's say for example, see what is the best practices out there, and don't try to figure it out from the beginning. See what's the best practice, and then try to innovate from there.
Okay.
So don't try to figure out what's commonly known. So for example, in our, let's say for example, in our case, we knew that strawberry, lemon, grapefruit are the best sellers. Or let's say for example, they are moving and people are buying them, and people are liking them. Our job was to create our best version of it that is going to beat our competitors. And that's what we did. Then we have a space to come with innovation. Let's say for example, creativity, like coconut, like the other flavors that we're planning to introduce.
That's spectacular.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashed, for such a lovely conversation.
Thank you. It was lovely having this conversation.